Maybe about 1/8 of the container is now filled up, so it's continuing to pull that humidity out of the air. Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the ALORAIR. This is the 180 ppd commercial dehumidifier for basements and crawl spaces. This is a Wi-Fi smart dehumidifier as well. I do want to point out that ALORAIR did send me this unit to check out today, but I want you to know that any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's a look at the retail box and packaging where we can learn more about our specific model with a nice little graphic and image of it right there, and you'll see the ALORAIR logo and branding. Now let's go ahead, let's open it up and see what's inside. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our product literature consisting of app installation instructions. You can search and download the ALORAIR app for both iOS and Android devices. They walk you through screenshots showing you how to get everything set up and ready to go to add your device. Next, you'll see warranty registration card, followed by our user guide and manual, walking through a nice table of contents with everything you need to know about your new dehumidifier, tech specs, controls, part diagrams, nice breakout there. You'll see more display settings, sub-menus, maintenance tips and tricks, troubleshooting section with error codes, how to properly store the dehumidifier, and then that warranty information on the back, anywhere between 6 months to 5 years, depending on the part and component. And then last but not least, we have the dehumidifier itself. Let's look at that in more detail. First, we're looking at the top of the dehumidifier here. You'll see 2 heavy-duty grip handles. We also have a bag featuring 2 O-rings in it. You'll see our Storm LGR Extreme. This also has a stackable design, so you'll notice that those handles lie flat there, and then we have these 2 parallel ridges up at the top to allow multiple units to stack to easily store. You'll notice on this side we have our control panel and display right here with 4 physical buttons. Next, we're looking at the side of the dehumidifier with our Velcro wrapped pump hose here. This is 14.7 feet. We have some additional stickers, a warning sticker and product information on the side for our dehumidifier. You'll notice too we have our yellow and gray color scheme. The other side looks similar, follows that same color pattern. You'll see on this side we have our air outlet right here with 4 Phillips head screws to remove this protective cover as needed. Now you're looking at the very bottom of the unit. You'll see our 4 feet here, and we have a complete wiring diagram of all the different circuits. And you'll see our power cord is integrated and attached right there. If you're wondering about the length of this power cord, this is 19.6 feet. So they give us almost 20 feet of power cord length. On the side of the dehumidifier, you'll see additional branding, power cord again, and then we have our drain quick connect right there in the bottom left-hand corner. And then last but not least, we're looking at the other side of our unit. This is our air inlet with filter that is removable. So we just pop the filter out right there. You can just pull it out on the side and then slide it right back in. And you'll notice up at the top right here, this is gonna be your temperature and humidity sensor. Now we're gonna go ahead, plug this in and go over all the controls. So we have the unit plugged in. You'll see that currently it's off, but the display is powered on. On the plug end too, it actually illuminates. That's why it's clear right here. So this will light up when your power source is connected and that has power. So if your outlet's good to go, you have a nice visual indicator right there. So we'll plug it in. It lights up, you'll see this power's on, then it shows you that currently the unit's off, and we can go over all of our different controls here. So first up, we can power it on, and you'll see our quick specs here that we'll go over. The unit's on. Here's how long it's been running. Then we have our inlet information for our air 68 degrees, 46% for our humidity level. Then moving right along, you'll see we have this pump activation button right here. We could press that before storage to empty everything out. Next, moving right along, we'll go to this little window square option. This gives us all of our different settings that we can use this arrow to navigate. So job hours, we can reset that. Lifetime hours, 0.5 hours so far right out of the box. Inlet and outlet information, so 68 degrees coming in, 46%, 75 going out at 32%. Then Wi-Fi, we can toggle that on or off. Humidity set point, so currently it's running at continuous, but we can go all the way up to 80% in 5% increments, and then back to continuous. Then you'll see our temp units, we can do Fahrenheit or Celsius. Then we have our language settings, coil temp, a couple more quick tech specs for you, compressor current, 4.3 amps, and then our grain DPR, currently we're at 49. That's going to be grains per pound right here, so that measurement shows for you. And then unit name, we can name it, and then back to our initial screen where you see we have our Wi-Fi icon flashing. So let's go ahead, let's set this up with our phone. Unfortunately, I tried to set this up with the Wi-Fi. We had no luck or success ever being able to connect to our dehumidifier to look at the smartphone features and capabilities. We did reach out to customer support and still did not have any luck. So not sure what's going on with this particular unit and why we're not able to connect. If you're wondering too, I did try it with both iOS and Android devices. We spent a long time trying to troubleshoot and figure that out. So unfortunately, we won't be able to showcase those features because it's not working for some reason with our sample unit. All right, so we have the humidifier set up here and ready to go. In our unfinished section of the basement, we want to pull some moisture out of the air. Currently, it's at 44%. I set it down to 30% just so we could test and try this out. When we started setting this up, it was at 48% already working and making quick progress here. Plugged in though with the illuminated power plug. It's all set up and ready to go for us and doing a nice job so far. Half an hour check-in and we're down to 38%. And here's your 1 hour update. Take a look, we're at 37%. And I want to point out, within that last half an hour, the unit has since pumped itself and we have some water collecting in our bin. Now we're at the 2 hour mark and you'll see we caught the pump purging right here automatically. So we'll watch that here, 5 seconds to go. Just did a purge, not seeing any extra water come out and fill anything up. And you'll see we're at 37%. And 23 hours later, you'll see the results right here. We're at 35%. And there's a look at the water. Maybe about 1/8 of the container is now filled up. So it's continuing to pull that humidity out of the air. You'll notice I have some handy dandy tools here. We're going to use these tools to give you some real world data on this dehumidifier. So first we're going to boot it up and we're going to see how loud it is. All right, so we peaked at 63 decibels. That was the max readout that we got with this dehumidifier. Next up, I wanted to go over the FPM, so the feet per minute with this dehumidifier for our air intake with the filter in. We peaked at 389.8 FPM. So that's what we're seeing there for the air intake. And then looking at the FPM from our outlet right here, we peaked at 2,033 FPM. Last but not least, let's look at our power here. So first up, you'll see currently with the unit running, we're at 490.6 watts. You'll see 0.857 kilowatt hours. Moving right along, we're at 121.1 volts, and you'll see 4.589 amps. Here's our low wattage of 0.5 and our high of 559.9. So get a feel there for what you can expect with this unit for its power. And now you'll see we have the dehumidifier in its final resting place in our storage garage here to help better regulate the air and the humidity. So you'll see right there, currently we have 36% humidity. We have it set to 35. And we have our drain line just run along the floor and out the garage door. So now, after using this dehumidifier, let me share with you my final thoughts. The biggest takeaway for me is that this is really a commercial heavy-duty dehumidifier. It's made for businesses, right? Got nice grip handles so you can easily carry it to and from your job sites. It's made to stack with multiple units. Again, if you're taking a couple out to a certain job, nice to have the ability to stack them up and pack them away in your work van or truck. Simple control panel, made for long-term maintenance, long power power cord, pump right here with a nice long drain hose. So everything out of the box ready to go for you. We've had this running for hundreds of hours without any issues so far, and I expect that to last for many, many, many more hours. Now, with all that being said, there are a couple things I'd want to see improved. The first one is we weren't able to try the mobile app. So if you're paying for that feature, it'd be nice to actually have a working app with your dehumidifier. We'll chalk that up to this particular sample, but again, just keep that in mind. If you really need to have that feature, hopefully you have better luck than we do if you get this exact same version. For us personally, we don't need Wi-Fi. If I was buying this myself, I would not be buying a Wi-Fi version, but I'm sure for certain people out there, that is something that you want and maybe even need. Next, in regards to functionality, there's a couple things I'd like to see changed. The first one is I wish we had the ability to turn off the pump. So basically when you turn this on or off, it's going to discharge and empty that pump. I wish there's a way that we could manually purge it or not purge it as we see fit. So let it just get full and stop and let us pump it or not, because maybe you don't have a long enough hose or an area to pump it, but when you go to turn it off, guess what? It's going to want to discharge that water, so get a bucket ready or something along those lines. So that would be what I'd want to see changed in the future. More controls and customizations right here at the control panel to allow us better usability for things like the pump. Other than that, very simple, straightforward. Set it up, plug it in, and they did such a great job. It's the little subtle things like adding the illuminated plug on the end of this to see power at your outlet that just really sets this apart and shows you the amount of detail and time and effort they put into designing this dehumidifier.